Hello and welcome back to another Tonto video. In today's one, we're at the TMNT, the Mutant Nation issue number 9, also known as the final issue, sadly, for this series. But at the same time, what they've done with this series, I'm honestly a bit happy about its ending because this series had so much potential, and yet with what they did in this series, yeah, it's good that it's ending. And even with some of the content in this actual issue itself, yeah, let's say that. So yeah, okay, so for this story, we're going to begin two stories. We've got one story that's called Hunt, and this one's going to begin with the turtles going after Hale, the Ghost Boys, and also, I believe also the Dogstar Clan. And then also we got a, oh god, a very cringy story with Mona Lisa, called Your Back Is Got, about her doing a podcast about Mutant Town and about how things have changed so much in the last year. Oh god, yeah, I am grateful that this series is ending now. But yeah, so so I'll start with the Hunt bit first because that's the most bit of preview because we got, I want to say, about 5 pages of that. Meanwhile, the Your Back Is Got story, there's only 1 page. But the first thing which I want to point out is, for the lettering, which is done by Brian Kulik for the Hunt story, I don't know how they've been able to mess up the lettering so much that some of the words, or like letters, don't even look like the letters which they're supposed to resemble. And it's honestly really hard with some of the words to make out what they actually are meant to be. And some of it, yeah, I hope that they do fix this in the actual final version of the story, because if they don't, then oh boy, they god, this is just so bad, awful. Like some of it is honestly really hard to make out what some of the words are. But I would expect that, like with something from the Turtles, you would expect actual decent letters and you can actually read it all. But yeah. And then also, something which I was also quite surprised at with the team as well for this one, we do have Ronald Patterson returning to do some stuff on this series, which yeah, I mean, I was quite surprised by that. I mean, the colours do look really great and amazing, so I'm not going to complain all too much there. But yeah, so for the first page, there isn't really too much to it other than just Turtles just walking over the rooftops and that kind of stuff, going to their point, and like what they were just talking about, saying that, oh, like how in the past he's done all these bad things, he got the, city against us, we got, the foot, they're out to get us as well, and, he's destroying our family and that kind of stuff. Well, I believe that's what it says, but at the same time, it could be a bit wrong because of all the words that are sort of trying to be a different word, but, well, that's not my problem. That sounds screwed up that badly, but, yeah. So on the next page, we do find out the Turtles are going to Chinatown to a firecracker festival, and that's when we do get to see Hal, he's there, and Turtles have been after Hal for quite a while, and they want to try and sell things with him, or at least try and get like one up on him. However, this is something which I do find to be quite interesting, is that for the rest of the series, it's set between the previous ongoing series and this new current one as a way to fill in the gaps. However, this issue, what I believe is after, I want to say issue 7, I want to say, but at the same time, there's a lot of stuff in this one which I do question about, when this issue takes place within this universe and that kind of stuff, because, well, currently right now the Turtles are going up against Hale for their freedom and that kind of stuff, so it's a very weirdly timed comic that is coming out. But yeah, so for the next page, you do get to see them trying to work out what they should do and that kind of stuff. And we do get to see Donnie. He points out that there's I think it's a skylight that's over there, and everyone's a bit wondering what they should do, and everything starts to question it. And Mikey does go on to say back off, dude, just because that's more helpful than Raph. But in the end, Leo just decided to take the team over to the building to sneak in and see what Hale's talking about. And we do get to see on the next page how he walks in and is talking to the other people, saying that, oh yeah, I come in here, I've got respect from the Italians, the Russians, the Irish, all these gangs across New York, they all respect me, and now it's you. I know that, people around here, they say that you're the best. Well, it's about time that we arrange something. And, I mean, I feel like it's a decent setup to what they're trying to go for like Hell's plan and that kind of stuff. But at the same time, I'll say that because we already know what some of the stuff that led to in the actual ongoing series, is a bit weird. But also at the same time, when you get to see on the second page, is revealed to be the Exang from the Ghost Boys, which I must admit I was honestly quite surprised at, and actually a bit happy to see them in return. They're not characters which I care about, or I won't lie, I honestly forgotten about them, because I think the last time we saw them was, I want to say 2019, 2018, back with the Being Rocksteady Destroys Everything miniseries. So it's been quite a while, and these characters have done barely anything, but now they're supposed to be the next big bads or something along those kind of lines. But yeah, there isn't really too much to it other than just Hell wants there to be a somewhat of like agreement so that, you know, the Ghost Boys will work for them. However, the Ghost Boys don't want anything to do with Hell because, you know, he's a bad guy, and Hell just, you know, he gets angry and it's like, oh my god, how dare you speak to me? Like, don't you know who I am? And yeah, so the X-Man person goes, yeah, we'll show you support, and the good thing is going to lead to a fight, which I'm quite looking forward to seeing like how it's going to like play out and that kind of stuff. So yeah, but then for the second story, which is that got you back, this one for the only page we've got so far, it's just Mona Lisa. She sets up the podcast and it's like, okay, so people are asking like why I still keep the Mikey like the title for the podcast, title tracks, and well, I like to keep it just so that people know where it all came from, the roots. And just like, yeah, fuck, it's pretty obvious at this point. And then she goes on to say that, yes, well, I want to keep this podcast going, and you see, well, the last year has been so difficult. Let me explain, and yeah, we're losing, and Christ, this is just gonna be a god awful story. I can't believe that this is gonna be the final story that we get from this series. It's so disappointing. I think the only good thing or decent thing that could come from this one that isn't like cringy whatsoever is it actually do feel like in a lot of stuff from what happened within that time gap, but I got a thing they're most likely not going to. But oh my god, it's not looking good for this series, for this final issue. But yeah, so for the description for this issue, it is the odious Hernia's Hell has nearly all New York under his boot of militant foot patrol, yet somehow crime lords of Chinatown have resisted Hell's takeover of NYC underworld. At last, the secret weapon is revealed, the Dogstar Clan has finally come to America, and a Mutant Nation finale. So yeah, so I mean, I'd say that I do like the idea of Dogstar Clan returning, because after everything happened with the miniseries of Foot Clan, I think, was it the Untold Destiny of the Foot Clan? It's really great to see that they're coming back. The only thing which I'd have to question of those, like how much of an impact this issue will have on the actual ongoing series, and if the Dogstar Clan will be back fully, or if this is going to be for this one issue, or about Zodi. There's like a lot of questions which I have, which I'm looking forward to quite a bit for answers, but well, if actually again is a completely different question at this point, but most likely not, but oh well. And then so for the covers, we've got cover A, which is done by Declan Chevrolet, which is the person who did the art. I believe he did the artwork. Yes, he did the artwork for the first story. However, it looks completely different to the actual issue itself. So what went wrong there? And then for the final one, not final. For cover B, which is done by Victor Kavigi, who also did the artwork for the backup story. And I'd say, yeah, it works. It's like, explaining what happened with for the last story, so yeah. And then we've got a 110 variant, which is done by Fo Penchi, and this one is of the Shredder. I was led to believe that this could be a story about the Shredder. I was completely wrong about that, but at the same time I was somewhat under the impression because, you know, it's a Shredder. But it turns out that this cover is actually supposed to incentivize people to pick up the Shredder comic miniseries, or maybe not miniseries, maybe ongoing series, when it comes out. However, this one is a 1 in 10 variant, so it's not going to be a very good promotional piece. So, yeah, great job for that one. God. Oh, they messed up so bad on this final issue. Oh, love it. But yeah, let me know in the comment section below what you think about this issue. Are you looking forward to it? Are you not? And yeah, that's game for today, guys. If some, please share, subscribe, and all that stuff. Goodbye, yo, bye.